What's up, everybody, and welcome to St. Petersburg, Florida. Well, today we're gonna go way over there on that side of St. Petersburg along the coastline to show you the hurricane aftermath. So I hope you guys are ready for another adventure here in the state of Florida. What are these people doing? Here we go, another toll. One thing I really despise about coming to St. Petersburg Beach is we gotta pay across the Skyway Bridge. There's another toll here for some reason. And then when we get to the beach, you have to pay to park. So you have to pay 3 times to go to the beach here in St. Pete, which is why we barely come here. Beautiful neighborhood. Just a lot of destruction going on. Alright guys, so this is a situation that we're looking at on the ground here in the St. Petersburg Beach area. Now keep in mind, you have St. Petersburg, Madeira Beach, Treasure Island, Tierra Verde. These areas are all, they all have different names, but for the sake of today's video, we're going to call it St. Petersburg Beach. So we're looking at downed trees from the wind. We're looking at people having a storm surge go in their house and destroy everything. This particular property had a tree fall. And it has a lot of storm surge damage. When you have storm surge flooding, it's a very corrosive power. Salt water destroys everything that it touches. So the people that live in these houses, they have to get rid of just about everything. There's no saving anything. You can see this house here has a Bentley in the garage, and that applies to vehicles as well. If you have a vehicle and your vehicle gets flooded, it's unfortunately not much you can do to it. Now I see a lot of people trying to dry out their vehicles, and really, if your vehicle got wet in the hurricane, it's copper, it's just stuff that's going to eventually corrode. I can't imagine why you would have a vehicle that isn't insured to begin with. So if you have a vehicle, it should be insured. Now things like steel and iron are going to start to corrode immediately. But I see a lot of people trying to air out their vehicles, and it's pointless. If your vehicle got flooded, you need to report that to the insurance company right away. You can see here how this furniture is already starting to get moldy. A lot of people on the other videos were asking me, what are we supposed to do? Why are they throwing this stuff away? When your house is submerged in salt water, everything starts to rot and corrode immediately. And you can start to see now how just about everything that got wet is starting to mold. You can see the water line on that couch. So they had about 2 feet of water inside the house. It may not be obvious on day one, but anything that was submerged in salt water is eventually going to rot. You can see here how this furniture is starting to rot. You can see how it's got mold growing on it already. So a lot of people are asking, why do they have to throw everything away? Because this is corrosive salt water. Everything that salt water touches will eventually be destroyed. So you can see here how all this furniture is destroyed. There's no way around it. Somebody is flying a drone right above us over there. You can see a drone flying that way. Somebody's flying a drone over there, maybe another content creator. So today is about day number 8 since the hurricane, and the smell of mold is really bad. I see that most of the workers that are working are also wearing masks as well. And there's a smell here. It's a rotting saltwater smell. There is a park over here, but the park is taped off. Alright, so as I'm walking, a lot of people, just a lot of anger as well. I was just walking through this neighborhood. I've seen 2 people just like flipping out. But there is a drone flying right over our heads. And now it's coming down real low, close. See a drone right there. Coming real low and real close to us. I'm not sure why. It could be a law enforcement drone, or it could just be somebody creating content. It's flying right over my head, and actually, you're not really allowed to fly drones directly over people's heads. Smell of rotting food, it's pretty strong. So a lot of the workers that we're running into here today are Cubans because they live in Tampa and they come over here to work. Interesting sight. So if that refrigerator flooded, you can't be driving it around. People are rebuilding. There's a lot of good gestures from people, and there's a lot of anger and frustration. A lot of people are really angry. This is one of those expensive bicycle truck racks. You can see on this boat here that the water and the garbage debris made it all the way to the boat, which makes you think there must have been at least 6-foot waves here, because that's about 6 feet off the ground. And of course, this is one of the landmarks of this metropolitan area right here. Somebody lost their water meter cap. I'm just gonna put it, I guess, here where they can see it, I guess. So if they're driving by, it's somebody in this area, they'll be able to see their water meter cap on the bushes. Basically, all of these covers floated away. Not like they're even paying that much for scrap metal right now. That is plentiful. I'll take it right here if you can. Get around. That's gonna take forever to get around. All right. Good audio quality, good video quality. Sometimes it's a little difficult to correlate different things that are all supposed to work together. They're all compatible, but when you actually get on the field on a hot day, it's very difficult. You know, your phone's overheating, which is the camera. Your stabilizer overheats too. Your recording equipment has cords that your stabilizer wasn't meant to have in the same places. So everything. Yeah, you can go this way. Yeah. So everything kind of doesn't work together. Now we're pulling up to the beach here. You can see that the sand came over the road here. A great opportunity to metal detect. But you can see that the sand came over the road here. Well, looks kind of empty today compared to usual. And then of course the stabilizer doesn't understand.
Look at this big pile here.
Yeah, that's the speed bumps they have. All right, everybody, so welcome to St. Pete Beach. There are signs that say extreme danger, do not enter. See, there's people over there right now on the water who ignored these signs. I guess in these parts here along beaches and places like this, there's something called entitlement of the ultra wealthy. These are individuals who think because that they're wealthy that the laws don't apply to them. This is what happens here in Florida. See this guy, he's just collecting some scrap metal to recycle. But the cops, they got 4 police cars out here. But this is the reality of Florida, man. When I used to collect scrap metal, they're always bothering you. It's always a war on the poor who are just trying to work. The real issue here is that this is a rich area and they don't want to see poor people picking up their garbage. But this is what I've been telling you guys about living in Florida. It's like a war on the poor. If you're poor, whatever you're doing is wrong. I have no idea why my stabilizer is dancing on me today. But there are extreme danger. Do not keep out signs. And look how many people are on the beach right now. There's hundreds of people on the beach. There's dead animals out there. I was just out there. I'm not going to record it because, you know, I don't want to record doing something that you're not supposed to and then upload to YouTube. But I was just out there. There's dead birds. There's dead animals. Yeah, like I said, I'm not going to record me breaking the law, but I took a walk down the beach real quick. There's dead birds, dead animals. Just an onslaught of filth, dead animals, and there's people out there swimming between the dead birds, you know. I've been that person 1,000 times. Here you are in the heat, just trying to make some money. You're not stealing, you're not selling. All you're doing is just trying to make an honest living, a very difficult honest living. This is Florida. They're gonna have to educate him on the height. It's too much weight for that truck. The trailer hitch is too low. Yep, it's just too much weight for that truck. Being poor in Florida is a crime. piece of apparently he lives upper in Manatee County where I live, so shout out to everybody in Manatee County. But no, you cannot go over the Skyway Bridge hauling whatever the crap that load is. That's crazy, absolutely crazy. All right, so I had a conversation with the police officers, and the problem is that metal load is just too unsafe. And he's planning to go over the Skyway Bridge back into Manatee County. And going over the Skyway Bridge, which we saw at the start of today's video, with a metal load like that, it's just, well, practically insanity. So to the people that are planning on going to the beach, I saw dead animals, dead fish, dead birds. I dug a hole in the sand and it smelled like pure death. You know, there's about 4 feet of debris. So guys, the issue comes down to, you know, that load is very unsafe, and I do understand the law enforcement's perspective. I have my feelings about picking up scrap metal and being harassed by the cops because I was that person for a long time in my life. But you know, it is an unsafe load, and he is planning to go over the Skyway Bridge with it. I feel like it's just a poor person trying to make a living, but this is the way the world works. Sometimes being poor comes with it costs more to be poor than be rich. Okay. In the rebuilding process, so we're going to stay out of the way. You can see here the garbage coming out of these houses quite a bit. These are beautiful cottages here. This area, it's beautiful cottages, beautiful homes, and somewhat affordable for being on an island. You can actually get a house here. Difficult situation here for the people who live here. We don't want to interfere. Go ahead and park one of these parking spots for me, Katie. Right here, right behind that black car. Park right there, and they'll give me a chance to get in here. That's good enough. So here's the situation on the southern end of St. Petersburg Beach. There has been a lot of people that have pretty much lost everything, and everything in here is garbage. And unfortunately, the scrap metal guy, he's just had too much. Ay, qué lástima, bro. De verdad que siento por el hierrero, porque yo soy hierrero, yo sé lo que es eso. The water looks nasty and it's full of garbage. Stay off that water for a while. There's a lot of dead organisms. There's a lot of pieces of wood with nails. It just isn't the right timing to be on the water. I talked a little bit with the police officers about the things that are kind of interesting to our YouTube channel in general outside of the hurricane, like the homeless situation, the addiction situation, and you know, got some good information for you guys about what's actually happening on the ground. The new law about the homelessness in this county, I don't think, from what I talked to the officers, is going to be the way it's being portrayed on the media. It just isn't realistically going to be that way. Unfortunately, the homeless are actually really scared right now. I usually have no problem getting homeless interviews, but over the last little bit, it has become extremely difficult to get homeless interviews. You know, since the law took place, I have had a lot of trouble being able to talk to the homeless, get interviews. They're really afraid. They feel like just being homeless can get them arrested, so they don't even want to talk about it on camera because they feel it can be used against them. So it's kind of a difficult situation. But again, I've always talked about actual enforcement of the laws, practical application, versus, well, what we hear on the media. You know, I guess he could have gone for the brass, the copper, and with that little trailer, he would have probably made more money with brass and copper than he would have with going after just what's called white goods. We're not going to drive our vehicle through here and get in the way of these people that are working, but you can see the storm surge did push all the sand over here. So now we're kind of almost to the southern tip of St. Petersburg Beach. You can see here on a Saturday afternoon, there are still a lot of people working, equipment moving. This is a very expensive luxury vehicle, and you can see that it is flooded. What's really nice about St. Pete Beach is these little cottages, guys. It's not overbuilt like other parts of Florida. More simple, you know? Not as many McMansions, but you can see there are flooded cars everywhere. Flooded cars, flooded houses, and of course the smell of rotting debris now is strong. It's really sad actually to see this. But this is in fact what St. Pete Beach looks like right now. I really like this place because of the little cottages. It just doesn't feel as overdeveloped like other parts of Florida. It has a more laid back and simple vibe. And unfortunately, here we are today. You can see that anything that's steel, like I said earlier, is already starting to rot. There's no saving any of this stuff. I know a lot of people are saying on the videos, you know, why are they getting rid of that stuff? Corrosive salt water. And people swimming on the beaches, I want to warn you, you do not want to be in that water right now. I was just out there. The water stinks. It smells like death. There's dead animals, dead organisms. I actually dug a hole about 6 inches deep on the sand, and the smell, because what happens with the storm surge, it buries little shells and little fish and little crabs and stuff that are in there, and then all those little animals end up dying pretty much. They end up kind of dying underneath the sand. So like you might walk over the sand and it might not smell bad, but if you were to, for example, dig a hole, it would just smell like death. And I guess the saddest thing about these hurricanes is this right here. You know, photo albums and stuff like that. You can see there's a photo album there. You can replace material things, but things like photo albums are memories and stuff like that. That's definitely not the type of thing you're just going to easily be able to rebuild. And there are items of sentimental value, like photo albums, for example. Then, you know, you can lose your family photos. So that's just a nice suggestion that I think everybody should do. And hello.
You need a bigger lens.
Oh, you meet some great, nice people out here. But what I'm saying is, you know, your photos and stuff like that. You can take photos of your photos, put it on YouTube, private, not public for people to see, you know, but have it there as a backup, because you never know. It could be a fire, it could be a hurricane, it could be a burglar. Who knows, right? Anything can happen. You can lose your valuable sentimental family heirlooms, and then you don't have any family heirlooms. I love how, like, on my videos lately, I've been pronouncing stuff wrong on purpose. And then people will get mad and say, you're saying it wrong, this is the right way. I'm like, I'm honestly pronouncing everything wrong on purpose. You know, that should just kind of be a clue. So here on the pier, you can see how the storm surge left a bunch of garbage up here. Got some mackerel over there. And then you got this little stretch right here where it looks like the water just destroyed this little sidewalk here. Yeah, hard to watch, to be honest. It's really hard to watch. Parking garaje. Un garaje parking, man. Un garaje parking, man. Un garaje parking, man. We're on Madeira Beach, and this piles of sand are just like as high as Katie.
Holler.
That's wild. Just absolutely wild.
People are happy. They're doing their work and they're dancing and just living life.
Oh
yeah, they
good
lost
times.
their homes, but
Yeah, good times. Yeah.
Yeah, they lost. I've seen so much so happy people. You know, they're dealing with something, but they're not letting it get to them.
Yeah. Well, you don't have to let it get to you. Just some people.
Yeah.
Some people suck. Some people suck. Some people suck. Situation. Ah, horrible driving. It's like bad. Like sheds on the side of the road, cars on the side of the road. This area here got hit really bad. And there doesn't seem to even be a place to store the garbage. They're just putting it on the road. It's very tight around here, so it's going to be difficult to even find a place to put the stuff. Yikes, man. Good for you guys, but don't want to be here seeing this destruction.
This is sad. Most of it is recoverable.
Real heavy chemical smell here. I don't know what it is.
Take a look at the pier over there.
Smell. The point where it just looks like, what on earth? You feel like a man. Here and there too. Somebody could be offended by your joke. Green down, evacuate. They're not used to doing it and they get hurt.
Yep.
Underwater beach, we just have a giant tarp there. I'm not sure what that is. It's a bunch of boats everywhere randomly scattered.